What's up? Oh, God, I smacked the mic real hard. Let's try it again. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 life-changing ideas about money that I promise you have probably not thought about ever. And if we want different results for our life, we have to change the things that we do. We have to change the way that we think because what you believe changes what you think, changes what you do, right? So let's change how we think about money today with 3 ideas that are going to sound a little weird at first, but let me unpack them. Let me explain. The first is that money is nothing more than a transfer of energy. A transfer of energy. If you think about what you get money for, it requires energy in some form to be expended to go get the thing that can then be transformed in some way that then gives value to somebody else in exchange for money. For instance, the farmer, he puts in his time and his energy. He pours his resources into his soil, tilling it, caring for it, planting seeds into it. His energy goes into it. Energy from the sun then pours into his seeds and they blossom, and then he has to harvest them, which requires energy, and he has to mill it, and then he has to distribute it. And then at the end of all of this, we give him money. And we say, for your time, your efforts, your expenditure of energies, for your ability to capture this energy in a useful way, I will give you money. And now I have $20 for my harvest. I'm not a good farmer, so I have just $20. That is a store of my energy, which I can now use to exchange for somebody else's energy. I can either give them $20 and they can come and now expend their energy on my farm and work for me. I could spend that $20 to buy some bacon from the butcher who expended energy growing the pig, killing the pig, butchering the pig. Right? So everything we do when it comes to money is really just a transference of my energy from natural resources energies to a store of value that I can then use at a future date to get somebody else's energy. It's a really strange way of thinking about money that I think for most people is completely foreign. But when you start to look at it through that lens, you start to realize that your value and how much money you can get is a result of your ability to harness and focus energy. That could be your energy. That could be the energy of others. It could be the energy of technology. There's all sorts of ways that you can do this, but it's a paradigm shift. And if you're not making as much as you want, it's because you're not focusing enough energy into a good or service that brings people enough value. It's not worth their energy. So you're putting in your energy, you're getting this out, it's not worth their energy to pay you for it, right? So that's a way of thinking about it. Number 2, money is a jealous lover. It goes to whoever pays it the most attention. I get kind of cranky with people who, when I tell them one of the core activities I did that changed my financial future was I took my head out of the sand and I started to do a daily financial audit. Every single day I'd have a financial journal. I would sit down with my bank account, with my credit cards. I would write down on the left side everything that I spent money on in the previous day. And then I would write down everything that all the money that I made. So if I got a paycheck or if I got, any money coming in, if it was interest off of like the $100 I had in the savings account, I got 12 cents. Cool. I'd write that down. And then I would add it up. Okay. How much did I spend yesterday? I spent $100. How much did I make? A lot of days, that number of how much I made was 0. And I would write that down. I'd be like, shit, I lost $100 today. Just being alive yesterday cost me $100. I didn't make anything. And then every 2 weeks, I get my paycheck in and huzzah, now I made more than that day than I hopefully spent that day, right? That's how I lived. And every day living through that process, I started to go, okay, well, do I really need to spend that money today? So like, if I sat down and I looked at my negative column, all the things I had spent the previous day, after a certain point, I'm like, maybe I don't need to buy that because I don't want to write it down in tomorrow's journal. So I stopped spending as much money. And I started to think, okay, well, I didn't make very much money yesterday. I made like $12. What could I do to make more money today? And how could I get that in today so that I could have a win on that column? And so I started looking at opportunities very differently. I stopped spending as much money and I started looking and every day asking myself, what could I do to make more money right now? Right now. And to this day, I still ask myself that question. I still ask myself, what could I do today to make more money? And I'm sorry, but if you're not doing that every single day, you are not playing the money game to win it. You are just playing it to be on the court, and nobody's ever going to remember your name, and you're going to get benched, and then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because the thing about money is the time to make money is before you need money. And so I get cranky with people when I tell them that, and they go, oh, that seems too much. That seems a little bit like OCD. It seems like you care too much about money to be looking at it every single day. And then they'll start to go, well, what if I do it once a week? And that goes into once a month. And I'm like, I don't care how often that you do it. The more frequently you measure something, the quicker it grows. If you want to succeed, measure the thing that you want to grow more. And there was a time in my life where I wanted nothing more than to grow my financial security, because I didn't like living from paycheck to paycheck. I didn't like looking in my bank account and seeing a negative red number. It felt terrible. It was shameful. I was embarrassed by it. And so I decided I wasn't going to play like an amateur anymore. I was going to play like a professional. And a professional shows up every freaking day and does the work. And part of the work is to look at the scoreboard and see how you're doing. And if you're not willing to do that, then I'm sorry, you are going to lose the money game. And there's nothing I can do to help you. So don't listen to those people who tell you, oh, you don't need to track your money. Just put it into a financial aggregating software and just check it once a month. Bullshit. Don't do that. Don't listen to them. Don't be poor. Number 3, the idea of money as dry powder. Money, you hear this phrase all the time within like investment and financial services, is like dry powder is what we call money sitting on the sideline so that we can go and pursue opportunities. One of the reasons Warren Buffett is so wealthy is because Warren Buffett always keeps a massive amount of dry powder, a massive amount of cash reserves. And it looks silly during the times when everything is going good because he has money that's not really earning very much over here. It's just kind of safe and secure, and it's underneath the mattress, right? It's for the rainy day. But here's where wealth is truly made, is that when the rain comes and all the people are suddenly getting wet, they go to the guy with dry powder because he's been keeping his safe. And so now they need to be bailed out. And who do they go to? They go to the person who can bail them out. It's the person that has the money. This is why they say cash is king. And we're entering into a period of time where people are starting to realize that. Those who have money on the sideline, who've been frugal and conservative with it, are going to have the opportunity to collect massive opportunities because people that didn't have the dry powder, their powder's all wet. They are now forced into a position where they have to sell. And who's going to have all the power in that equation? The person who can buy, who dictates the terms, or the person who's desperate to get out? That is an important concept that if you do not fundamentally understand, you're going to find yourself in a whole lot of hot water one day. Ask me how I know. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. If you found this valuable, if this helped you reframe anything that you've ever thought about money, I would love to hear from you guys. Again, take a screenshot. This is my new ask. If you're consistently listening to the podcast, I want you guys to reach out and let me know that you exist. Reach out by taking a screenshot of this, sharing it with people in your community that you think could benefit from having their ideas of money reframed. Share it on Instagram, tag me in it, the Anthony Vicino, and I will give you a little bit of love, maybe even give you a whole lot of love, if that's what you want. If you want me to not give you love, that's fine too. Just let me know. Anywho, that's all I got. You should probably go now. I'll see you guys in the next episode.